Spider-Man No Way Home didn't just end a trilogy. It erased a life, reset a universe, and secretly built the most comic-accurate Spider-Man we've ever had. But why does this movie feel like both a heartbreaking goodbye and a brand new beginning at the same time? Subscribe and join the journey. More hero stories, more multiverse secrets. Spider-Man No Way Home is a story that doesn't simply continue Peter Parker's journey. It reshapes everything about who he is and what he stands for. From the moment the movie begins, Peter's entire life dismantles piece by piece, creating a rare superhero film that feels like both the end of a story and the beginning of a brand new one. When Mysterio exposes Peter's identity to the world, the consequences hit immediately. His privacy is destroyed, his school life collapses, his friends suffer because of him, and every dream he had for the future vanishes. This identity crisis pushes Peter into desperation, leading him to seek help from Doctor Strange, hoping magic can fix the damage. But just like every classic Spider-Man story, Peter's attempt to solve a problem creates a much bigger one. His emotional interference during the spell fractures the boundaries between universes, dragging villains from alternate timelines into the MCU. Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Electro, Sandman, and Lizard enter his world not as cameos, but as symbols of Spider-Man's legacy. Each villain carries the emotional weight of a different cinematic era, turning the film into a living museum of Spider-Man history. Peter faces not only physical threats, but moral dilemmas, as he learns that sending these villains back means sending them to their deaths. This forces Peter to confront a question at the heart of Spider-Man's identity. Should he save the people who were never meant to be saved? Aunt May pushes him toward compassion, insisting that saving even the worst of them is the right thing to do. And this sets the stage for the tragedy that defines Peter's arc. When Green Goblin kills Aunt May, it becomes the emotional explosion that transforms Peter from a teenage hero supported by mentors into a fully realized Spider-Man shaped by loss, guilt, and responsibility. Her final words, delivering the true version of the great power and great responsibility lesson, reboot his moral core and echo the legacy of Uncle Ben, even though he was never present in this version of the story. This is where the goodbye truly begins, because Peter's innocence dies with her. As Peter reaches his lowest moment, the multiverse brings unexpected hope through the arrival of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, who enter the story not merely to excite the audience, but to heal Peter's spirit. Tobey brings calm wisdom shaped by age and experience. Andrew brings vulnerability, carrying the grief of Gwen Stacy's death. Together, they form a triangular emotional support system, showing Peter that Spider-Man's pain is universal, but so is his resilience. Andrew redeeming himself by saving MJ is a moment of emotional closure for his character, while Tobey, stopping Peter from killing Green Goblin, becomes a symbolic act, showing that revenge destroys the hero more than the villain. Their presence unites 3 generations of Spider-Man, turning the film into both a celebration and a farewell to everything Spider-Man has been across decades of cinema. The final battle at the Statue of Liberty becomes a test of Peter's rage, maturity, and sense of justice. He fights not only villains, but his own desire for vengeance. And in the end, he chooses restraint, proving that he has learned the responsibility lesson fully. But the real turning point comes when Peter realizes that the only way to restore stability to the universe is to make the world forget Peter Parker entirely. The sacrifice is devastating. He loses MJ, he loses Ned, he loses every relationship and every memory anyone ever had of him. He becomes a ghost in his own life, walking the world completely alone. This decision is the true reset of the character. It strips away every piece of Stark technology, every connection to the Avengers, and every convenience that made Tom Holland's version different from the classic comic Spider-Man. Now, he is alone, broke, anonymous, and rebuilding his life from nothing. When Peter moves into a tiny apartment and begins sewing his own suit, the film signals the beginning of a new era where Spider-Man returns to his roots as the friendly neighborhood hero. No money, no mentors, no allies, no safety net, and no fame, just responsibility. The final swing through the snowy city is both familiar and new, a nod to the past and a promise to the future. No Way Home becomes a soft reboot, not through marketing or announcements, but through storytelling. It respectfully closes the chapter of the Stark-influenced Spider-Man while opening a door to a raw, grounded, comic-accurate Peter Parker who must face life alone. The film ends with Peter having lost everything but still choosing to be Spider-Man. This is why the movie feels like a heartbreaking goodbye to the boy he was and a powerful rebirth of the man he must become. It honors the legacy of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield while setting the stage for the darkest, most mature Spider-Man story Tom Holland has ever told. No Way Home is a farewell wrapped inside an origin story, a reboot disguised as a finale, and a love letter to every version of Spider-Man that has ever existed. And that's exactly why it stays with us long after the credits roll, because it reminds us that being Spider-Man has never been about winning, fame, or recognition. It has always been about sacrifice. And Peter Parker, once again, chooses to lose everything so the world can be safe.